She will break no contact if she goes ahead and sees these two things that happens with you. I'll tell you one right now that's a major thing is you showing your focus and direction has changed. You have other things that are going to be right in front of your face. You give more into it and there's no way of looking back. There's no way of even breaking no contact on your end and feeling the need to talk to her. Now, before I get more into that and the other way that she'll go ahead and break no contact, I decided to switch up the no contact idea. Well, in other words, it's still the same exact thing, but now it's not about how much are you doing or why you should not be breaking no contact. We already know that you shouldn't be and how much it could really work. And also sometimes a girl is really done with you, or she's long gone, she moved to a whole new country and started a whole new family. Come on now. We know in those situations there's a different story and there's different circumstances that make the actual situation completely different. So I decided to switch it up because you also have to understand that it's not just on your end. It's really about sometimes what is she doing, how she pays attention to you, and when she's really going to have her breaking point when it comes down to reaching out to you, wanting to talk to you, all of these good things, especially when she has not been seeing anything coming from your end. And if it's going to be not watching your stories, sometimes it's a friend wondering what you're doing, who you're with, and it might just take for her to hear one specific thing that could trigger those emotions that gets her very much worked up, and that normally leads to her breaking no contact. Now, before I keep going on, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, and I really want to know if you're actually stuck on tour or you're actually moved on. Now, although you might be doing no contact or you're feeling like, oh, she should be breaking no contact now, what's going on? What is your exact situation? And I love when you guys tell your stories because not only do I like reading it, but I really feel like it helps so much, fellas, and sometimes you guys communicate with each other. So there's different situations out here, but it comes down to, do you know that you should be moving on at this point? Are you attempting to, or you're done with her and you've been moved on and maybe she'll still break no contact? You want to have the leverage, right? And transform your dating game. Now, if you have game already, you have the charisma going on, or you get a woman but you don't know what to do with them sometimes, this is going to be perfect for you if you feel like it's such a struggle to understand a woman's mindset. Also, just knowing your own purpose, knowing how to elevate, sometimes it's tricky. What this does for you with the things that I provided is having you have a better understanding. And I made it even better by including my personal experience. Check it out so you know how an alpha male is like that wins over a woman, and a sigma male, how he does his game, what he's like, the things that women really like. And so you could go ahead and perfect it in all aspects, especially if she's leading you on or giving you mixed signals or making you feel like she likes you one moment and then playing the cold hot games. It's not fun at all, but there's also getting leverage. There's also seeing the opportunity to have the power dynamic on your side and understanding how to pull back and not even deal with those mind games. All of these problems that you need a solution to, go ahead and click the links down below, find what is gonna work for you. And I also have bundle deals available. Make sure you check it out by clicking the link. And so let's just go back into how she does break that no contact. When it comes down to that, it's really seeing where that attention that you've been probably putting a lot towards her, where it's going now, and also how can she simply get it back, right? So sometimes it might be the point of, hey, she's looking at you and saying, what has changed? What have I done to make him feel this way? So sometimes she might not even feel that she's as pretty as before. Or she might realize her actions is really showing the consequences. And the consequences shows that you're not going to be you. Yes, you as a fella, you're not going to be there no longer any longer. So that means if she's going ahead and watching your stories, or let's even say she's keeping tabs in other ways, there's definitely ways to get information about you. I'm thinking if there's not that many ways, she might just be talking about you to her friends. Somehow she can't get over you, but she brings you up and then she goes ahead and what's going on with him? I don't really know. These are just basic stuff that could be a topic of discussion. But let's just fast forward into just watching your page. Now, if you don't have social media, it does not mean that she's not looking at old messages. Believe it or not, many of the conversations that you've had with her are not actually deleted. There still could be old conversations, even the last few times that you spoke to, because of the fact that she might have not let you go completely. And that also just means that she might not have your number blocked, right? And so that means she knows that she could contact you. She knows maybe you don't have her number blocked as well. Maybe you guys don't have a tendency of doing that to each other regardless. Some relationships, they do block, some relationships don't. Some block to unblock, all of these things. And when it comes out to social media, sometimes it's removing that person just to add them back or just to remove them for a short period of time. But anyways, back to her knowing that access is still available. Sometimes that keeps her attached to you. And so let's say if she looks at your number and she's tempted one night and she's just like, hey, I'm going to do it. Like, forget about it. I don't even care if I've been holding back on no contact. It could be that night. So many things could be going on around that night. So it could have been her breaking point. that could happen down the line depending on how tough she is. Sometimes some females really try to stay away from getting emotional or being vulnerable with you. And so that side does not come out at all. That means that she's going to be holding back on any actions that show that she's submitting in a way, or she's trying to actually contact you or trying to be there for you. And that loving side, the nurturing and the female different nature side is not something that she wants to really be showing up with. In other words, she might have strong feelings for you, or those feelings are coming back, but she's not trying to act on it because it requires her to do more of the work in that specific moment. Another way that you want to look at it is also the idea of thinking you might be gone forever. So sometimes it's a bluff thing. Like thinking that, okay, well, you're going to be separating yourself just for a temporary period of time, meaning that you're not going to be gone forever. That also will lead to, if you're not gone forever, what are you going to be doing? Maybe you're going to be weighing your options, seeing that other girls out there aren't good for you or you don't like them. And so she might think that you'll come back to her at some point because you realize it's the best with her. But then let's say once that starts breaking down and she's realizing that's not the truth, right? That's why when I say don't break no contract in those other videos, it's because you can't. When I say you have to ignore it and you got to do it for a long period of time or do it longer than you ever did before, it's because you have to show otherwise, like, this is what's going to happen. If you're going to be ignoring, or if there's other stuff that you have going on, it could be about anything self-improvement, back to dating. Consultations are available for that. Book your consultation. Let's get on the line and talk about what's going on with you. So when you're doing these things, it's showing by your actions, not by your word, where again, that's where the bluffing comes in. Because come on now, how many of y'all believe what you're actually saying? When you go ahead and tell her like, hey, I'm going to do it, I'm going to make that happen, and it's going to be something that revolves around eliminating her completely or never being there for her or saying that I got to be on my own or I can't be with you or I can't deal with you, how long is that really lasting, right? And especially if you've been with somebody for a long period of time, sometimes, you kind of have a real idea of how that relationship is like and the tendencies or what really normally occurs in the relationship. And so let's say that you go ahead and show things have really changed. At that point, her feeling that you're going to be gone completely, that's a huge factor. Now, in my other videos, I normally talk about obviously self-improvement, how you could change yourself, being attractive. Those things are still going to play a huge impact because if you do a 360, but yet when you were with her, you were stuck on being lazy or you didn't care about your look so much, or you felt like, well, I'm in a relationship now, I don't really have to improve, I don't really got to look that good, or who am I looking good for? I already got a girl. Like those things can go ahead and maybe not make you look the best for, you just won't be, let's say, even a top pick for her because she might have even felt that you looked way better when you guys met each other. Or she might just feel like you used to take care of yourself way better when I met you. But also the other way that you want to look at it is that you're doing these things for yourself at the end of the day, right? When you're going ahead and actually showing to yourself that there's other options out there, if you got to go date somebody that treats you better, when you're going ahead and doing that and actually, let's say, exploring and not holding back, or you're saying, I'm not doing this because I need to get her mad, upset. And I know sometimes that's still the case, but when you're doing it again for yourself, saying that, hey, if I do fall in love with somebody, or if I do come across a girl that is somebody that I could keep my mind on and just, have fun with, whatever you want to do. Or let's even say you're going to be focused on yourself. You're going to be putting more work into your goals, whatever you want to accomplish next. Once you go ahead and do that, and it's never really the end result of wanting her, or it's not that result that you really care for or don't want at all, then you're going to have her really pay attention more to you. It's like now all of the focus that has been put away, never really brought out or really put onto you, is now coming to an end because she sees that, okay, with you, I can't keep doing these things. Remember, at the end of the day, women are very emotional by nature. That will never change. Yes, some females can be more on the stronger end. Some females can hold it back completely. Yes, some females can also be on the masculine side. At that point, that just means that she might be holding off on her feelings regardless. There's a cave-in around you, breaking her emotions, letting you see it is something that she's trying to master or has mastered, not letting you be able to see that. In other words, if she needs to be vulnerable around you, she's holding off. But then when she realizes that she can't do it no more and life really is not the same with you around and she really wants you bad enough, that's where that no contact breaking is happening. And just remember, it could happen way sooner. It doesn't mean it has to happen at that point. When it does happen way sooner, it does mean that, hey, this whole time she probably had really, really strong feelings for you, but she was really holding back off of it and she was able to control not showing it. But it's not a good thing at the end of the day, because if it means that you end up leaving because you don't feel appreciated or all these different things, that's not really what you should be having in your life and it's disrespect and all that, then she lost you, she lost you. But remember, your situation needs to come down to, what are you doing for yourself? How are you distancing yourself and keeping it that way if you have to? And also, what is the realization that you're having throughout the process? Is it that it was a waste? Is it worth going back to? Ask yourself these questions. And so make sure you just hold off. Let that person go ahead and rate the no contact on you instead of you doing it to them, and see what happens afterwards. And think about it as well. Like, what have you been expecting this whole time that you have not been receiving? And so that's it for this video. Make sure you do give this video a big thumbs up, and other comments that you have, like I said, if it's a part 2 or just whatever is on your mind, let me know. And specific videos that you want to see, drop it in the comment section. And don't forget to check out the links in my bio. That's it for this video. Bye, y'all.